Hi there, I'm Katy-Rose and welcome to Map Your Potential. In today's video, we're going to look at 6 ways that we can reset our mental space when we're having a particularly difficult day, or if you're just having one of those half an hours or hours where things keep going wrong and you just need to stop it from getting worse. So these won't necessarily make you feel hundreds of times better, but actually when you're going down that kind of spiral where you're having a bad day and it's getting worse and worse and things keep going wrong, these can help reset that mental space to stop you falling too much further down. So step number 1 is to breathe or to take a breath. It might be that you just want to stop and take a single breath, sort of a deep breath. It might be that actually for you just want to become aware of what your breath is doing. So when we are kind of anxious, when we're getting worried, when we're kind of frantically panicking about things, when things become overwhelming, we tend to breathe a lot faster and a lot shallower. So and that then sends feedback to our bodies that we have something to be worried about, something to be anxious about, because we're not breathing normally. So if we are able to then reset that breathing, a few steadying breaths, slowing that breath back down until it feels a little bit more like your normal breath, and then you'll actually be sending those messages through your whole body to calm down, which will help your brain, it will help your mind and mental space to feel that little bit more in control of things and less worried. And sometimes it can be really helpful to open the window, take in some fresh air, particularly here in England, the air is generally cooler outside than inside. So it can be useful just to take a breath, have that kind of cool hit, that kind of refreshing sensation that kind of resets your body a little bit, can help with your mental state as well. Linking onto that, actually seeing nature, getting out in nature can be really helpful, kind of reconnecting with the natural world. So for me, this might be as simple as going outside, as I said, opening the window and just sort of looking, listening, sort of smelling, breathing in the air, looking at the trees as they rustle, hearing the squirrels making their various noises. I have cats, so stroking my cats, feeding them, caring for them kind of helps me to break any mental cycles I'm having about myself. And equally it can be things like caring for plants. So I have a slightly unhappy plant here. It hasn't liked all the weather we've been having and kind of being moved around a little bit lately. So just kind of pruning off the dead bits and watering it, kind of repositioning it, checking in on, every couple, just thinking, oh, is it happy there? Is that right? Is there enough light for it? That sort of thing can be really helpful to help you break through the mental kind of cycle, that mental cycle of what's going on for you if you're thinking about other things and other people or other animals. Another way to take the attention away from the mental space and what's going on in your head is to care for yourself. So this might be that you file your nails, it might be that you just moisturise your hands and give a bit of a massage, you have a nice bubble bath, even just lighting a candle or some incense or something in the room so that you're doing something that will make your body relax in some way. Yoga is great if that's something you're into. For some people it might even be going for a run. I only run if zombies are chasing me, but for some people that's what they like to do. The third thing is to try a mindfulness exercise. So mindfulness is specifically about what is going on for you actually in that moment. So what is actually happening, becoming aware of something in particular. So there are lots of different types out there. There's the 5 senses, which talks about, I think it's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste, I think. You can try any variation of that. There's also ones about becoming aware of your breath. I've always been found it difficult to be aware of my breath without changing it, so I actually put my fingers on my pulse and feel my heartbeat. And whenever I used to teach meditation, while I was leading a breathing meditation, I would hold my fingers on my pulse. And that would be my way of becoming mindful of the way my body is doing it, because I can't change my pulse quite as easily as my breath changes. Another mindfulness exercise that I can recommend is it's kind of a distraction exercise really, but it is all about what's going on for you right there and then, so I think it still counts. I will leave a link to an in-depth article about it that I wrote on mapyourpotential.co.uk, but the gist of it is to identify things of a certain colour or certain number or certain letter, something that uses the brain, that makes the brain think a little bit, but isn't emotive, doesn't remind it of what's going on for it right now. So I want to find 5 things in this room that are blue. So I'm wearing blue jeans, I've got blue on my ring, got blue on 2 of my rings, 2 blues on 2 of my rings, got blue on my bracelet, and there's a PlayStation game which is blue over there, there's a blue pen, I'm sure that's 6, but you know. So let's move on to 5 things that are red. So the chair behind the camera is red, there's some paper in a red folder, we've got some DVDs that are red by the TV, so that's 3. The keyboard of my laptop is red, has red letters on it, so that's 4. And there'll be a book in that bookcase. There is a book in that bookcase. There's a book in that bookcase that's red. So there's my 5 red, and then I might move on to yellow, and then green. Equally, it might be, you know, I want to find 5, I want to count the colours of the cars. So, oh, that's a red car, that's a silver car, that's a blue car. Oh, we just need a green car, no, that's red, no, that's silver, that's black, that's all black on your colour. Anything you can do that allows your brain to be distracted from whatever's going on for you, whatever's making this a bad day, just for 10 or 20 seconds, can help to reset and kind of break the cycle of that negative thinking, of what's keeping you kind of in that negative space is kind of usually that we're ruminating, that we're remembering that something is happening that we are interpreting as bad. So if we can just stop interpreting bad things for 10 seconds, it actually does put a tiny reset. And this is not to say that, you know, your mood will elevate and you'll be happy no matter what's going on. It's about stopping that spiral down quite as fast. The 5th thing is to write out your thoughts. So usually when we're having a bad day, we are overthinking something, we're ruminating, we're remembering, someone said something to us, we're trying to plan what we're going to say, we're feeling stressed, we're feeling anxious, we might be feeling frustrated, feeling low, feeling sad, those kind of things. Usually those feelings come because of our thoughts. So our thoughts are the ones that help drive those to continue. So it might be that something happened, but generally the things that keep our emotions in a negative space are our thoughts and our behaviours. And both our thoughts and our behaviours can be impacted by each other. So your thoughts can be controlled to some level, but actually writing them down will be really helpful for your mental space, because it won't be taking up as much mental space. So if you write down, it might be you want to doodle, it might be you want to just scribble everything that's happened, it might be like one of those Dear Diary entries you wrote as a kid, or even just a to-do list. I tend to list mine out. Everything that is overwhelming me goes on a page, and then I breathe and I go, right, well, no matter how many times it comes on my head, it's all written here. I don't need to keep remembering it. I don't need to keep going over it. I don't need to keep coming up with this and rethinking about it. I can pause because I've got it all written down. I can come back to this in a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes time. Nothing's going to change in 2 minutes time. I can go make a tea and go to the loo and breathe. So again, you might want to use a couple of these tools in tandem. The final tip, so the 6th tip in sort of resetting your mental space, if you're having a bad day or a difficult period of time, is to have some kind of little collection of maybe videos, jokes, memes, whatever it is that will just put you in a good place. So I'm going to link, probably put some cards up here, and I will link below 3 videos that I use on YouTube for when I'm having a bad day. So one is a cat slinking along to some music, always makes me smile. One is a penguin and its colony making noises at it, which I just found funny. Judge me if you will. And the 3rd one is some pygmy goats running around a field looking and sounding joyous. And it always lights me up, makes me smile, makes me grin. Again, this is not going to turn an absolutely rubbish day into a perfectly happy, positive moment. But what it can do is, if I feel like I'm on the verge of complete and utter overwhelm, breakdown, tearful, everything, it can give me 30 seconds of, well, I think about a minute and a half, those 3 videos back to back. It can give me a minute and a half of breathing space, of mental clarity, of separation from what is going on right now that is becoming difficult for me, and give me back a bit of power to think about what's actually going on, what can I do, how am I going to move forward with this day. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any ideas of your own, so how you might sort of reset your mental space after a bad day, please do leave them down below in the comments. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up, share this video with people you know who might find it useful, and subscribe so that you don't miss future updates. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again in the next video.